Benito Mussolini, Italy's fascist dictator, who ruled for over 2 decades and aligned himself with Hitler's Nazi Germany. By April 1945, Mussolini's empire was crumbling. Allied forces were sweeping through Italy, and even his closest allies had abandoned him. Il Duce, as he was known, attempted a desperate escape to Switzerland, disguised in a German military overcoat and helmet. But on April 27th, Italian partisans stopped a convoy of retreating German soldiers near Lake Como. Hidden among them was Mussolini. The next day, he and his mistress, Clara Petacci, were executed by firing squad in the small village of Giulino di Mezzegra. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Their bodies were transported to Milan and hung upside down from meat hooks at a gas station in Piazzale Loreto, the very same square where the fascists had displayed the bodies of executed partisans months earlier. Crowds gathered to spit on, stone, and desecrate the corpses of the man who had once commanded their unwavering obedience. Adolf Hitler, the man responsible for World War II and the Holocaust, which claimed over 6 million Jewish lives and millions of others. By April 1945, Soviet forces were closing in on Berlin. Hitler had retreated to his underground bunker, the Führerbunker, beneath the Reich Chancellery. The Third Reich, that was supposed to last 1,000 years, was collapsing after just 12. On April 29th, with Soviet troops less than a mile away, Hitler married his longtime companion, Eva Braun. The next day, April 30th, 1945, they committed suicide together. Hitler shot himself in the head while simultaneously biting into a cyanide capsule. Braun took only the cyanide. Following Hitler's explicit instructions, their bodies were carried up to the Chancellery Garden, doused in gasoline, and burned. The charred remains were later discovered by Soviet troops, though conspiracy theories about Hitler's escape persisted for years. Muammar Gaddafi. Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, Libya's eccentric dictator who'd ruled for 42 years with a bizarre mix of revolutionary rhetoric and brutal repression. The Arab Spring had ignited protests across the Middle East, and Libya was no exception. What started as demonstrations quickly escalated into a full-scale civil war, with NATO forces providing air support to rebel fighters. By October 2011, Gaddafi was on the run. On the morning of October 20th, a NATO airstrike hit his convoy near his hometown of Sirte. Gaddafi and his loyalists fled on foot, eventually hiding in drainage pipes beneath a road. Rebel fighters discovered him there. The man who'd once called himself the King of Kings of Africa was found cowering in a concrete tube, allegedly pleading, shouting, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot!" What happened next was captured on shaky cell phone footage that shocked the world. Gaddafi was dragged from the pipe, beaten, and abused by the mob. He was heard shouting, "What did I do to you?" The exact circumstances of his death remain unclear. Some say he was killed in crossfire, others that he was executed. Either way, within hours, the dictator was dead. His body was displayed in a commercial freezer in Misrata for days, with people lining up to take photographs with the corpse. Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein ruled Iraq with terrifying brutality for 24 years, using chemical weapons against his own people and leading his country into devastating wars. The 2003 U.S. invasion toppled his regime in weeks, but Saddam himself evaded capture for months. On December 13, 2003, American forces found him hiding in what they called a spider hole, a camouflaged underground hideout near his hometown of Tikrit. The once powerful dictator emerged disheveled and bearded, surrendering without resistance. Unlike the immediate deaths of Mussolini and Gaddafi, Saddam faced trial. For 3 years, he was prosecuted for crimes against humanity, particularly for the massacre of 148 Shia Muslims in the town of Dujail. On December 30, 2006, Saddam was hanged. But in the age of smartphones, what should have been a solemn state execution became something else entirely. Unauthorized footage leaked showing Saddam being taunted by witnesses with sectarian chants. He remained defiant until the end, refusing a hood and reciting prayers. The execution was meant to bring closure and demonstrate justice, but the leaked video instead sparked controversy and renewed sectarian tensions. Subscribe.